Hello everyone, here I am once again. I hope those who wanted to, they will be able to join the live stream. And this is gonna be the Queen's Gambit Film Club with the Chess Insider, episode 6, part 1. Guys, this episode was so intense and full of many details that I decided to split it up into 2 different streams just to make sure that I cover everything. We are not rushing anywhere anyway. And I just was hoping that you won't mind. So this is part 1 of episode 6. The title of this episode, and actually after this, we only have 1 more episode left. So I thought I will drag it out a bit, make it even longer, because I really, truly love our Queen's Gambit Film Club discussions. So we are gonna head right into it. Sorry. So the title is adjournment, and this word, I personally didn't know this word originally, but apparently it means to stick through very tough conditions, and they are reflecting on how chess players and very enthusiastic chess experts would just train and even sometimes forget to eat or drink or forget about life. They can really become very, very just focused on chess. So this is what the title means, and you will see why they called this episode like that. So the opening scene comes up as Beth's birth mom speaks. Now, I took out this quote from the film. I actually typed it out myself because this is a very, very strong quote. Oh yeah, before we begin, let me go back. Just want to do the disclaimer as per usual that this is a series recommended for adults and not for children. And also it has a lot of triggering elements psychologically, probably. So if you feel like it doesn't resonate with you or you might not want to watch it, that's absolutely fine, and feel free, just so you are aware of this. So yeah, the first scene is pretty intense. She basically says, as she's doing something and she's talking to Beth, she says, men are going to come along and teach you things. It doesn't make them any smarter. In most ways, they are not. But it makes them feel bigger. They can show you how things are done. And the way she says this is like, things are done. You just let them blow by and you go ahead and do just how you feel like. It takes a strong woman to stay by herself in a world where people will sell for anything, just so they can say they have something. There you are, so you never forget who you are. And she hands her dress that says her name, Beth, on it. So she sews her name on it so she never forgets who she is. I think it's a beautiful scene. I also think it could be a controversial scene, but I really liked it. And I remember that in a previous episode, the how do you call them? The principal of the institution where Beth was in the foster care, she burned her clothes and she burned her dress with her name on it. So now we found out how Beth got that dress from her mom, and it must have meant a lot to her, and unfortunately she lost it. Maybe indicating that she lost a bit of a part of her self by losing the dress as well. Now, I know I have many men audience usually, and it's no way to offend the men out there, but I just think it really reflects well how in our society we have been conditioned and grown up as women we were told many times by males that they know it better and we should listen. And by Beth coming along in the chess community as the only female who actually is able to play with the grandmasters, I think it's a very important lesson to learn for all of us that no matter on our gender, we have different strengths and weaknesses, and we can all support each other. It doesn't have to be something against men, but definitely there is a sense of how women are kind of wanting to break out of that stigma. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Not to offend anyone, it's just what I feel like about this scene. To me, it was a very interesting scene to watch. Then we see Benny and Beth are driving to New York City, and between listening to music, some Russian practice, they also play some blindfold chess. Now, my question is, have you ever tried to play blindfold chess? I remember when I was little, as I got better, and my sister as well, our dad would only play with us blindfold chess. It's a very, very good way to develop your mental imaginary senses. So you basically imagine the chessboard in your head in front of you, open eyes, closed eyes, doesn't matter. And as you call out the moves, you can picture them. Like now I'm thinking d4, d5, c4, knight to f6. Like you can really train your brain to be able to see the moves on an imaginary chessboard. You guys would be astounded by the fact how much it can help your brain, just overall visualization and imagination. It helps you in every part of your life if you can practice this. So I would highly recommend it. I should definitely practice these days as well. And then we see them arriving to Benny's house, which is actually a basement without any windows, any natural light coming in. It doesn't seem to bother Benny. At the end of the day, he lives in the big city, in the Big Apple. But Beth is kind of shocked at the conditions in which Benny lives. And now again, adjournment comes in that Benny is a professional chess player. He doesn't really care, about luxury or about comfort. He's more focused on his chess career. So he seems pretty happy with his apartment. But Beth seems a bit disappointed. She gets a blow-up bed. And when she asks for the shower, Benny points in the corner at the bath. So everything is in one room. It's a bit like a studio. It is a studio. And yeah, it's just, different. It's not what Beth is used to. Then their training begins, and the hint about how a dedicated chess professional can train in any condition, we can really see it during these scenes. But we can also see that Beth is resistant to the traditional way of training. And we can really see as well how she doesn't just want to play chess. She wants to totally do other things as well, just like have breakfast, probably go out shopping, explore New York City a bit. So Benny mocks her a bit about that. When it comes to actual chess references, I will link the ChessBase India article relating to this episode below, because as per usual, I find it amazing, and whoever created them, I decided I'm not going to put them on my slide. I could have taken a screenshot, although I always link them below. But I encourage you, and you see the actual title and chessbase.in. It's going to be linked below. Go, guys, on the article, because as you follow along the article, the chess references, you can play them out on a chessboard. There is amazing explanation, who played what. This is not my strength, so I decided to make you interested in it and go and check it out. So please click on that. But what I can share is that there is this strong sense of resistance from Beth. She's clearly not like anyone else, and even Benny acknowledges that. He also comments on Beth's boredom of ordinary chess, and even when it's played by grandmasters, she gets bored. She wants action, she wants sacrifices, she wants the violent chess, let's just say that. But he really, really tries to push her to practice in the traditional ways, because he believes it's not going to be enough for Beth to beat Borgov or anyone on that matter, just by hoping he walks into a trap that then Beth can take advantage of. So we really see how Benny is a good person to try and make sure Beth is also a bit down to earth a bit. So not just floating around in her dreamland, if you know what I mean. We could sense an emotional connection there, especially as Beth finds a great new different solution for a game that she's analyzing, and we could see a spark between them. Benny also states how the Soviets are the best players in the world because they work as a team and help each other out. He mentions how Americans tend to be lonely in their preparation. And it's not just Americans, it's very true that Russians were excellent because the best players always had secondaries, they are called, or seconds, who would be good players, and they would work for them and help them prepare and create analyzation for them. So saving a lot of time. Think about it, guys. Back then, there were no computers. You had to do everything manually from books, from your own head. There was no computers, so everything was a bit slower as well, as you can imagine. So after this spark was created between them, there was an interesting scene where it seems like they even get a bit closer. So Benny's friends arrive and they congratulate Beth on her Kentucky State Championship, for beating Benny even, and they ask her if she solves problems. And I know lots of you guys love the puzzles. Puzzles are the problems. And I do love the puzzles as well, and more as I practice more and more. But she says, no, I'm quoting this from the film, no, I always found them irrelevant, positions that will never come up in an actual game. And I get so many questions from you guys like, yeah, but like it will never come up, or at least even if it comes up, I will never see it on the actual game. And I know, because with a problem, they tell you there is a problem. But in the game, you first of all have to recognize that there is a problem. So it was a very interesting comment she said, and I was thinking about all of you telling me similar things, but actually I strongly believe that by practicing these problems, your brain is more receptive of recognizing it in an actual game, and I always say that. So I still stick to my opinion, but of course we can have all sorts different opinions. And this is the first problem they set up for Beth, and on the ChessBase India article you can actually solve it for yourself. There is checkmate with white in 3 moves, and as you can see, white has 2 knights and a bishop and a pawn, and black has a king, a bishop, and there is also a pawn in front of the king. You can't really see on this picture, but go over to the article and solve it for yourself. It's so much fun. With the friends who come, there is also a girl called Chloe, and she's more interested in getting to know her than dealing with chess at the beginning. I mean, let's think about it. Since her friend in the orphanage, she doesn't really have any female friends. She just lost her adoptive mom as well, so female figures are not around her anymore. So she starts asking her about herself, and Chloe seems pretty open, and she shares how the 2 guys she arrived with, they saved her life, and she's a model now. And Beth is just super into clothes, so they have a discussion. And after that, Beth ends up playing with the guys, and she starts doing timed simu. Now, you guys know that with a simu, it's not really fair to do it timed, because the person who plays with multiple people have to be really fast, but they got to the point where she beats them without the clock, so they try to bring in some more extreme situations in there. And so they absolutely play, and she ends up beating them, so much so that she ends up winning back her money from Benny that she lost at the previous tournament. And as the friends leave, Chloe says to her that if she's ever in Paris, to call her up. And actually, Beth is planning to go to this tournament in Paris in 2 weeks' time. So I guess they will meet again. We will find out. Benny confesses to Beth that no one ever beat him like she did ever before. She asks, not even Borgov, and he says, not even Borgov. So that's a big, big compliment to Beth. And they both know it, because Borgov is her biggest competition at the moment. She's quoting Alma, and it's just a nice moment because shows that she's thinking about Alma, even though her life has moved on and she's in New York now, but she still thinks about her, of course. And now again, the spark is even bigger between them, and they end up sleeping together. What's a bit upsetting to Beth is that Benny can only think about chess all the time. He always talks about chess. And even after sleeping together, he starts saying how Beth should play the Sicilian. And she's like, why should I play the Sicilian? And he's like, that's what you are the most comfortable with. You should always play what's best for you and not what the other feels comfortable with. This sentence I felt like was very important, and not just from a chess point of view, but in our real life situations as well. Sometimes we might tend to ignore our own interest and always try and help others and see what's best for them. I can really relate to that. But we need to learn to see our own best interest first, and then from a full cup, we can also help others, and we can also, help others reach that state. But it's very, very important to consider what's best for us. So I decided to highlight this sentence. And then, of course, Beth gets upset with him because he has no romance in him whatsoever, if I may say so myself. Now, in the next scene, we see Beth in Paris, and she's being interviewed. She's in this beautiful hotel. The tournament is in the hotel, and they have these beautiful rooms. It's, again, an invitational. I believe, it's an invitational tournament. Beth is being interviewed together with Borgov. Now, Borgov only speaks Russian, and we know that Beth has been working hard to learn Russian, so it's very interesting how when they interview Borgov, he always has to have a translator with him, but Beth can fully understand now what he says. And the interviewer asks her if she's scared to play in the tournament or something like that, and she says, I would say it's much easier to play chess without the burdens of the Adam's apple. This is such a fierce sentence, especially in those days, in those times. She's really, really speaking up about her female being and how she feels like it's easier for her to play chess without the burden. And it's a super cool scene after, with some music. We see Beth playing games and watching Borgov's games, and they both are winning their games until in the next round, they are about to play with each other. But this is when her newfound friend, Chloe, the model, Cleo, sorry, she's not Chloe, she's Cleo. Cleo, the model, I hope that's how she writes her name, by the way. She rings Beth up and she invites her just for a drink. Beth is trying to explain to her that she is actually having her biggest game of the tournament the next day and she can't drink. But Cleo a bit emotionally blackmails her, and Beth decides to meet her downstairs for only one drink. She even states it's gonna be only one. And this is the end of the first part of episode 6. I know I left it with a suspension. If anyone hasn't seen the series yet, I know low chances to that, but I hope this is the time when you will be like, oh, I really want to know what happened next. So this is where we are ending the episode 6, first part 1. And we will do part 2 very, very soon. I hope this was enjoyable. If you have any comments, please leave them below this video. And yeah, let me just see. I think that's the last slide I created for this. Yeah, that's the last slide. Here we go. So I'm gonna say goodbye now. It's gonna be saved with the link to ChessBase India's article. Check it out. It's amazing as always. And kudos to the creator of that article because they did an awesome job. It's only really talking about the chess references. So I thought, you know what, I really want to know the behind the scenes references, more emotional references. So that way I can create content around that and just send you guys over to the site. It's going to be way more fun. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your continuous support. I really appreciate that. And let me know, what did you think about the first part of this episode? Because we are coming in with some super exciting scenes now as we are getting to the end of the Queen's Gambit. I know, I really hope they come out with the second season somehow and make it very interesting. It would be amazing. So have a wonderful day, everyone, and see you very soon. Bye.